Welcome back, everyone. Oz here, and today I've got some r/OhNoConsequences. As per usual, I'll be reading you the post, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Cross-posted from BRO Updates. It's Best of's cousin, Shark Ava, and their tagline is, "No sex tonight, just had 50 justice orgasms." No idea what that is in reference to, and I'm afraid to find out. The original OP is Nervous at 8260, posted to r/AmITheAsshole, May 19th, 2024. Am I the asshole for losing my shit on my husband on the day of his family reunion? I'm a 35-year-old female married to a 38-year-old man. We've been together for 10 years and have 2 children, 9 and 5. My husband works very hard, he has multiple jobs, he works throughout the week. Recently, we had a discussion about taking time off and spending some time together. It is difficult because of things in his past. He accumulated a lot of debt, which is why he works so much. I work 60 plus hours a week and take care of the household and childcare things while much of his income goes to paying his debts. I keep up with the household, I do the housework and lawn work, repairs, etc., and he contributes where he can. Within this year, he has taken time off for family and coworker events. He has scheduled time to take trips with his friends, and when he does so, I'm the designated babysitter. Many days after he gets home, he's responsible for his parents. He takes them grocery shopping, fixes things at their household, and does some of their housework. I forgot to mention he is one of 5, and all 4 siblings live close to his parental home. His parents assist in childcare for his siblings, but not for ours. I've told him my frustrations of being constantly placed on the back burner. The day I lost it, I found out he invited his family to our house for a family reunion last week. I thought he took time off of work, and he didn't. The house was a mess, and most of the mess is his. I was expected to clean the house, get the groceries, run the kids to their weekend events, start cooking, and get the reunion set up as he set the time for 4 p.m., the time he gets out of work. The kids are helpful in doing their chores and cleaning their rooms. I got the house clean, and by the time his family started pouring in, I was stewing as he was at work. He asked me why there weren't any clean towels as he was going to take a shower, and I freaked out in front of his whole family. I ran down the list of how I am always on the back burner for these people, how I am one person, and I'm the one contributing to the household while he works just to pay off his debts, how I have no security or support in this relationship, and that he is like having another child, and that all I feel like I'm worth is an occasional fuck whenever he's in the mood. I let it all out. I ended with, "I'm done." I packed a bag and I took off. I'm sat in a parking lot, hysterical, and no, the kids weren't present, they were outside playing. He's a good father to the kids, but as a husband, I feel like I'm better off by myself. I have so much resentment towards him. And no, he hasn't called. He texted me loud and clear, which made me even more angry because this is exactly how he deals with everything. I'm now feeling like an asshole for going off and saying all I did, especially in front of his family. Am I the asshole? Relevant comments. Vegetable Business 897. So, tell him to move in with his parents while he pays off his debt. That way he can care for them, hang with his friends, take the kids on the weekends, and do whatever he wants to do with no consideration of you. Then you can enjoy your home, children, and weekends to relax with one less giant child to care for. And then, when his debts are paid, you two can sit down and decide if the best course of action is separated lives. Not the asshole. Top put 1541. Seriously, his parents have been fine with exploiting you so they can benefit from the fruit of Sunny Boy's life. They can have their defective son back. Judgment, not the asshole. Update. 1 day later. Wow, oh wow. Thank you all for all the advice, the kind words, and some kick-in-the-pants type of support. I came here to see if I was the asshole and was body slammed with a lot of harsh truths. I'm not gonna lie, much of it was cathartic to hear that I'm not the asshole, and it hurts to hear that I'm being taken advantage of. So, here's where I'm at. After the loud and clear text, I was bombarded with phone calls and texts from his family. I sent a message to my husband to give me some space and if he had any care for me and this relationship, to call off his dogs. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb with the exception of my children's iPad. I had called my mother, sent her some money, and she picked them up for a special grandma date/sleepover. Once they were there, I FaceTimed them and told them I was working. I'm not working. I had a secret rainy day fund and splurged on a nice hotel and spa day. Had a few drinks, cried my eyes out some more, and just spent the day unplugged and journaled all of my feelings. I haven't had time to do any of that in a very long time. After that, I mustered up the courage to open Reddit and read my fate, and wow, was I surprised. I was fully expecting a ton of "you are the asshole" comments. To clear up a few things, I shamefully do not know the lengths of his debts. Much of it was from his parents putting bills in his name. Others is just mismanagement of money, credit cards, etc. I took over the finances after I found a letter in the mail saying that we were going to lose the house. I was contributing to the household bills at the time, and he was doing the finances. I trusted things were well. This was after marriage and after kids. We went to counseling because of it, and he said he was ashamed and afraid to tell me the truth. I took over about 3 years ago, and I told him to focus on clearing his debts, and I'd hold the household down while he did. I did not expect it to take this long, and with inflation, everything has just become more expensive and that much more hard for me. I was supposed to go back to school, and that was put on hold so I could catch up on what we were behind, hence the working 60+ hours. I'm a nurse, and I work 12-hour shifts and capitalize on overtime where I can. I agree with the comment saying I'm burnt out. I realized this today. I realized at work or at home I'm constantly in critical thinking caregiver mode. My job is to care and perform and solve for everyone but myself. To clear up the comment of his family doesn't watch our kids is because they did so one time and threw it in our faces and I said never again. I see how they use him. I have said something before and he returns with, "One day they won't be here and I wish I could have done more." I told him, "That's fine, but you have your siblings that are equally responsible. Some that don't have spouses or kids that can contribute. As far as the house and things go, he does really help when he can." Don't jump on me, I just want to be truthful. I think it came across that he comes home and does nothing. He just works up to 16 hours, 7 days a week, so a lot of times it's me doing the majority of it. As far as the trips go, yeah, that's a sore spot. He tells me about them. He takes the day off. It pisses me off. I have to beg him for time. And if and when we do get it, we end up in a fight. Or I have to plan everything. Or we can't get sitters and sit home and he sleeps all day. And to be honest, I'm so full of resentment that it's almost too little too late. Like when I'm around him, I'm just so pissed off. He says I always have an attitude and that he's trying but nothing is ever good enough. So I just stopped and accepted my fate, hence the blow-up. I haven't spoken to him yet besides telling him to call off his family. He was part of the D&D on my phone. I would be Do Not Disturb, not Dungeons & Dragons. I'm enjoying the peace. I'm enjoying being myself, and just being present and aware of my feelings, knowing my kids are safe and I can truly take some time for myself and my mental health right now is everything. I know tomorrow I have to go back to reality and deal with everything. I promise to update when I can. I'm sorry to leave you all hanging if this isn't the update you had hoped for. I just want to enjoy this escape a little longer while I can before my world implodes. Thank you all and please keep this advice coming. I truly am alone on this one and need all the advice and support I can get. Comments. Recyclopath. Every single day he is lighting you on fire to keep his parents warm. It's a choice he is making. If he had his way, he would have made your children homeless. He won't even tell you the extent of the debts and you stayed with him. What the fuck are you doing? How do you know he stopped overspending? How do you know his parents aren't taking out more debt in his name? How can you trust him? He won't even tell you the extent of the damage. You are killing yourself for him. You are not able to be fully present for your children for him. He can't even be honest with you. Update. 1 day later. Update, and thank you all again for the advice. I woke up this morning with a clear head. I'm still upset and disappointed. I had tons of voicemails from his family. I don't have the energy to listen through them all. I don't care. Like I said, I'm angry, but I also feel embarrassed. I did call my husband this morning. I could tell by his voice he didn't sleep last night, and he confirmed that he in fact did not. He told me after the blow-up he asked everyone to leave. He was surprised to see my mother as I sent her to pick up the kids. He said that's when it really became real. We had a long conversation. I did apologize for exploding and doing so when I did and not communicating better. He said he understands why I felt like I couldn't and was actually glad it happened the way it did. His family finally got to see how much they affected his home. According to him, after I left, he laid into them and told them that he can no longer be the only one to help his family out, and that a lot of the mess he's in is their fault. He said that after the blow-up, he told his siblings they need to step up and help with his parents. His parents were obviously upset with the whole ordeal. I couldn't care less, to be honest. They couldn't believe that they are such a burden because they ask for a little help from time to time. I just rolled my eyes in disgust as he was talking. My new space, along with my feelings of hurt and anger, just let me speak all my truths. I had nothing left to give or lose, so I told him how I felt about everything. He sat in silence for a while, then finally broke down and said he feels like a failure. He's ashamed of the debt, and how much he has let us down. He said he was exhausted and has been feeling depressed because he couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and feels as though he's ruined our future. That he goes out with his friends to feel normal and himself, because all he does is work. That he does this because this black cloud that's been hanging over him. I wasn't my best self in this moment, and told him to save me the self-pity. It's pathetic. That he got himself into this mess, and I'm digging him out. I'm fucking depressed too. There's a ton of shit I want to do that I can't because I'm financially unable to do so. I went off how over the past 3 years his income has gone solely to debt repayment, yet there's no end in sight, because I haven't even seen the so-called debt. I've given him my all, and so much support as I could gather, but I'm angry. This isn't the life I pictured or set myself up for either. It's not the life my kids deserve. I've missed out on so much because I'm working, or I'm cleaning, or I'm just tired. I can't even open my eyes. I told him he has no one to blame but himself. I think my disdain was concerning. He said he will show and prove, that he will print out his credit report and list out all the debt he has, along with all his pay stubs and bank records and the receipts of what's paid off and whatever else I want as far as his finances are concerned. He promised me my hard work was not in vain, and that he is almost debt-free. Come to find out, his parents opened credit cards and bills in his name when he was younger, and accrued close to $100,000 of debt in his name, not including interest. They trashed his credit, and that's why it has taken so long. According to him, he has been fighting with the collection companies to settle, trying to consolidate or get a lower interest as it was multiple companies in debts. What I didn't know is some were so bad his wages were being garnished. He was in tears and said he didn't know how to tell me, that he didn't even know the extent of what they did. He was basically working all these hours with nothing to take home to us, and incurring more debt just to survive. I stayed silent. My blood was boiling. He didn't even realize he just helped me make my decision. He jokingly said my outburst took care of the family situation, and that is why he texted me loud and clear, meaning he and they got the message. I told him I didn't find it funny. It's a shame that it took an outburst from me for everyone to hear what I've been saying all along. That he's an idiot for not filing charges on his parents and just taking it up the ass and allowing it to ruin my life and the children we created lives. I told him he's spineless, and I feel so stupid. He said he didn't call me because he knew how mad I was and was scared he would say the wrong thing and say things just like that. I thanked him for the honesty in the conversation and told him I am so broken and angry and hurt right now that I can't even pick up my pieces, let alone this. Right now, I need to clear my head. He said he's willing to do whatever it takes to turn this around. He even suggested marriage counseling. He told me he used his paid time off and took the rest of the week off to work on this. I lost it and sobbed uncontrollably. If it was that easy to take time off, why now? And not then. I asked him, why didn't I matter before we got here? Why now? I told him he needs the time off to find counseling, both personal and legal, that I won't be coming home. He asked me if I was serious. He begged me to rethink my decision. He said all the things I've been wanting to hear. He asked me where I was going to go. And what about the kids, and the house, and the bills? That I couldn't tear the kids from the only home they know. I simply replied, I know this is what needs to be done, and I've already set the ball in motion. He hung up on me. I cried, then went to get the kids. We're going to have a wonderful week in a somewhat fancy hotel and swim in the pool and order room service and make some memories. I took some of the money I had saved in my rainy day fund and extended my hotel stay to include me and the kids. I have an awful lot to catch up on with them. The look on their faces when I said, no, mommy doesn't have to work tonight, was priceless. I also have an appointment with legal consultants tomorrow. Hopefully I can talk to a lawyer and figure out what's next. Wish me luck, everyone, and thanks again. Comments from Help Statistician. Make sure the lawyer knows what the debt situation is and try to get a credit report. Make him send you the log and not just a screenshot so you can see his entire credit history. Show your lawyer which ones you indicated were fraud. $100K would put your kids through university. That's a house down payment, not to mention interest. He decided the family he came from is more important than the family he made with you. So you're going to put yourself and your kids first now. So this level of debt is scary. And whenever we cover posts where parents take out debt in their kids' names, this is why it is always recommended, no matter what, even if the parents end up getting in trouble, to report it. Because the amount of pain it can cause down the line is never worth it. Because they caused that pain. They put their child through this. They get all of the benefit while he's the one who has to suffer through it. And it's a fucking shame. And he should have, from day one, been honest as much as possible with his wife about what situation he was in. Yeah, it's shameful. Yeah, it sucks. And I've been there. I've been through this. It fucking hurts to have someone drop mountains of debt onto your shoulders, and you're forced to deal with it because they hold all the cards. It is depressing and it is smothering. The amount of weight that it puts on your shoulders is just too much in some cases. And from day one, he should have been telling his wife the position he was in. But my guess would be is he probably didn't for two reasons. One, he was ashamed of the debt, and two, he knew that if he did, his wife would probably pressure him to report his parents. And considering his previous sentiment on the fact of, time's limited with them and he wants to spend it helping them. And the fact alone that he was also just fucking doing like yard work and chores for them after everything they had done to him. They were just taking advantage of him left and fucking right. Absolute monsters. I don't blame OP for walking away from this relationship because he should have been honest about this. So that way they could have worked on this as a team. But because of his shame, he let it spiral, grow, and get worse. Debt is a monster that only grows and becomes more of a malignant tumor on any kind of relationship. And it's so far-reaching it affects not just you, your children, your wife, your stress, your health, everything. Financial stress can be one of the worst stressors to be under because that shit is all-consuming. And it feels like that you just can't escape it. If you ever find yourself in a position where you're drowning in debt and hiding it from your significant other, talk with them about it. Maybe they can help, and see what resources you can find to help yourself get out of this situation, because if you try to fight this battle alone, you'll end up like OP's ex-husband did. And that's not a good position to be in. Cross-posted from Best of Redditor Updates. Originally collected by Ziggs0, and this user does not have a tagline. The original OP is Substantial Wheel 999, posted to r/shittyflying. Ziggs0 adds some additional context. OP originally posted on r/flying looking for advice, where his post was promptly deleted. He later posted on r/am I the asshole with the title, "Am I the asshole for asking my wife to respect my title as a pilot?" which was also deleted and locked within an hour. Too quick for Revetted to archive. But assume the two original posts were essentially the same. He eventually posted on r/shittyflying, a shitpost sub, but allegedly looking for serious advice. January 28th, 2023. What makes a pilot a pilot? Need advice from professional pilots. Another sub removed my question, but I need the opinions of aviation geeks and pilots on a matter involving my wife. I am completely serious, and I need help. /serious. My wife and I, together for 5 years, married for 2, no kids, have an amazing, happy relationship. I can't recall a single time we've ever argued to the point of a breakup or divorce. The issue, however, is causing me to reconsider the health of our relationship. Since my wife and I have been together, I have worked as a manager for a restaurant chain. I am an extremely passionate aviation enthusiast in my free time. I have spent thousands of dollars on flight textbooks, sim gear, and even built my own A330 setup. I've never actually flown a plane or started flying training, but I have considered it for a long time. Even though my skills are not a career, I still consider myself as adept or possibly more knowledgeable than the average pilot. That being said, here's where the problem arises. My wife and I were invited to one of her male coworkers' house for a barbecue. We live in California, too hot for winter activities. My wife is a senior software tech for a COVID startup. She's worked there since 2020. A lucky catch after she was laid off from her previous job due to the virus. It was my first time meeting many of her now close coworkers due to COVID and working from home. I had assumed she'd talked about me before, but as we were cycling through introductions, I became less sure. We make our way down the line to the host of the party, a new male hire that she has grown platonically close with. We exchanged casual conversation, and Greg, the host, asked what I do for a living. My wife chimes in with, "He manages a insert fast food chain. It certainly comes with some benefits." I'm assuming she's referring to free food, in a voice that implied nothing was wrong with what she said. I very quickly corrected her and told him that I am a pilot. My wife already knows how insecure I am about my job and how I'd much rather be introduced by my hobby. I've earned the title of pilot through my 500 plus hours on in sim and thousands of dollars put into my craft. I think it is incredibly disrespectful for her not to acknowledge my skills and training. Just because I don't have the title of pilot on an overpriced piece of paper doesn't mean I'm not a pilot. I laughed it off with Greg and told him under my breath that my wife was often forgetful, which I'm sure he's realized just from working with her. He seemed to brush it off casually. At this point, I'm fuming. I take a break from the party and resume when I've collected myself, not going much farther than exchanging some nasty glances at my wife for the rest of the night. As we pack up into the car to leave, the argument starts. She feels as if I don't deserve my title as a pilot because I'm not professional. I told her she's completely insensitive to the work I've done, and she will never understand what it's like to study so much. Am I in the wrong? She's currently on the couch as I type this. I need pilots to help me figure out how to convince her. Any advice is appreciated. Tap comment. If devoting thousands of hours to a hobby makes you a thing, then I'm a porn star. Update. Edit added to post 6 days later on February 3rd. Edit. February 3rd, 2023. I have read every comment possible and have been wrung out by the entire internet, lol. My wife found the post and opened the conversation before I could. She has now offered a second source of income so we can pay for both flight school and therapy. Oh, that's, you don't fucking deserve her. My wife is too good to me and too kind for the internet. Thank you to any kind comments, and to clear something up, my post was deleted off of most aviation-based subreddits, and that's how it ended up here. Not for the purpose of trolling, as many think, despite the tone tags, but this is Reddit! I want to apologize to both pilots and wives I have upset through my post. I'm working on it, for the sake of my wife. OP responds to this specific comment. Alarming Plantain 39. I have a feeling you resent your wife. You say she's lucky to get her job, but you're a genius and worked hard on your craft? Then you're condescending to her and try to make fun of her to one of her coworkers? There's nothing wrong with managing a restaurant, chain or not. It's hard, unappreciated work. You have every right to talk about and dive into your hobby, but her introducing you by your job doesn't mean she doesn't respect your love of flying. And just to be clear, you are not a pilot. Piloting is much more than the mechanics of flying a plane, which you probably know. If you want to call yourself that, you have to be certified. If a person played Dr. Sims, bought textbooks on surgery, and watched every doctor drama/medical videos, would you trust them to take out your appendix? No. They didn't go to school and have no experience. While you may have lots of knowledge, you have never been in that actual setting. Things change and the air is different up in the sky. The pressure to perform is much different than being safe on the ground. She doesn't respect you any less for your hobby, but her introducing yourself by your job when that was the question is not a slight to anything but your own ego. And if you're questioning her love and respect for you because of this incident, then that probably means you have a deeper insecurity that you're projecting onto her. Take some time to reflect. Opie responds, "She showed me this comment. Thanks for helping us both out." Second update, added 2 days later on February 5th. Edit, Newsweek article posted. Not sure if I can link it here, but the title is "Man Explains Why Wife Should Call Him a Pilot Despite No Pilot Training" by Alice Gibbs. It helps get the updated story out. The OP of the best of links the article. The full article is worth reading, but here's some choice quotes. He told Newsweek, "When I was about 17 and slowly realizing I wouldn't be able to pay for college, I took to YouTube and gaming to find my next big interest. I figured I'd indulge in whatever fictional dream of mine to escape the pain of reality." Finding a passion for airplanes, he met his wife, who also understood his love of aviation and encouraged him to focus more on it. "I always hoped to fly planes, but I failed to see the point sometimes. Why spend so much money when I already know the information and can simulate whatever trip I'd want to take in a flight simulator? I've worked in fast food since I was 16. I know exactly what runs through everyone's minds when I say that," he said. "It doesn't help that I'm overweight and fit the fast food guy role. My wife has a master's degree and has always had more success in her career than I have had. I've dealt with the emasculation of it for many years." Real quick, I do just want to add, I can't believe after finding out his wife has a master's degree that he had the gall to tell her that she's never had to study for anything this hard in her life. That is insane work, dude. Back to the article quotations. "To be truthful, I put more energy and time into flying than I've been a manager. I'm more confident in the simulator than I am at work every day. I put so much unrecognized effort into flying." My wife found my post. She typically browses aviation subreddits that I recommended to her. I think part of me was actually hoping she'd see it. OP explained. "I knew, or guessed at least, she would, and I was comfortable with that being the way the conversation was brought up. She had slept on the couch for 2 or 3 nights in a row before she came to me about things." When the couple sat down to talk about the incident, his wife asked for an apology, and OP told her that he was sincerely sorry. "She informed me that I embarrassed her in front of people she has to see very often, and that it'd be an awkward conversation to have if they try to talk further about my experience as a pilot. She, as well as hundreds of Redditors, helped me realize that I wasn't in the right for speaking up about my hobby. I should take pride in my job and respect my wife's personal life. We have our first therapy appointment together next Tuesday to talk about rejection and insecurity in our relationship and careers. I've already contacted a flight school, and I'm driving to a hangar on Monday to meet with a flight instructor from a school a few towns away." Looking back at the post that has captured such widespread attention, Fisher said he was upset at first, but now appreciates the responses. "I was really angry at the response initially. I felt like no one understood what I was asking or how deep my passion actually was," he said. "But I realized that the truth hurts, and what I did could have cost me the most giving woman in the world. I want my post to be considered a public service announcement to all husbands going forward." So I'm not saying that this is like a fake post, but this is just the plot of like an 80s style comedy. Husband says something fucking ridiculous. Everyone laughs at him. Despite the fact that he horrifically hurt and embarrassed his wife sticks by him because she believes in him. And now, the 80s movie comedy ends with them doing better, going to therapy, and him starting flight school. Insert freeze frame and outro song of Don't You Forget About Me, and there we go. Perfect 80s movie plot of someone who thinks that they're a pilot. I can't be the only one who sees that, right? Like, it's not just me who just sees this as this being like a perfectly stereotypical cliche 80s comedy movie plotline. No? Alright, I'll see myself out then. Don't forget, this is brought to you by GamerSupps. Use code ODDS at checkout. It's basically a caffeine powder that you put in your water, and I actually really like it. I use this on a daily basis. Don't forget that every purchase you make using code ODDS directly supports the channel. And if you want a personal recommendation from me, I would either recommend the Soda Pressing Pear or Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are currently my favorite flavors. And as a note, once we sell a certain amount of stuff, I get my own flavor and my own cup, and you all know I'm gonna choose some degenerate shit that's gonna make their PR team squirm. My goal is to make them regret partnering with me. So please, use code ODDS at checkout to make my dream come true of making a PR team squirm.